Dr. HH, blink thrice if you need help. I'm doing just fine. We're doing just fine. We're putting on a show here. I've talked to friends about lab leak and vaccines. That was the first part of this question. The rest of it is an actual question, I think. I've talked to friends about lab leak and vaccines. All were convinced that I was worshiping Alec Jones. I haven't lost friends yet, but it feels lonely. Do you see any signs of hope? Yeah, this bit about Alex Jones wasn't as wrong as they told us he was is concerning to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's always a question. And it is also true that, the magic trick is visible from certain places. The idea that to oppose vaccine mandates, to oppose any vaccine, to have any doubt about the efficacy, safety, the wisdom of any vaccine renders you an anti-vaxxer, no matter how vaccinated you may be, is a tell, right? That is the monster letting you in on a secret, which is that the term anti-vaxxer doesn't mean a goddamn thing. It's a threat, right? It's a stigma that will be appended to you, irrespective of your beliefs and behavior, and that you should be very, very frightened and you should run from that stigma. You should do what they tell you so they don't wield it at you. And the answer is, don't listen to them, right? If they're going to define anti-vaxxer so everybody's an anti-vaxxer, well then fine, right? Then it's a meaningless term.
They did the same with racist, right?
Right. It's the same trick.
Same thing.
It's the same. And, we are the living proof of this, right? We were the racists of Evergreen in spite of the fact that we are the opposite of racists. So if you saw that and you stuck with the story long enough to figure out that, hey, people are screaming about you being racist, but there doesn't seem anything racist about you. And in fact, there are an awful lot of students of a wide diversity of descriptions who seem to think that that's a preposterous claim, right? If you saw that, then you realize, oh, racist isn't a description of something. It's a threat, right?
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I mean, I can't remember when we...
Lonely, though.
Say it again?
That doesn't mean it doesn't feel lonely. The person asking the question said, just increasingly it's lonely.
Well, it is and it isn't. Depending upon the circumstances of your life, it may be that you don't have anyone to find. But our experience has been that there are some people who have broken the wrong way in each of these circumstances, and they've been perfectly horrible. And then there have been other people who've shown up and who have shined. And I would say in no case has the replacement of people who have been awful with people who have been good been a downgrade in the number of friends, the quality of friends, the decency of those friends. In every case, it's been an upgrade. And so the question really is, are you remaining attached to people who had such weakness of character that they fell for these tricks? And are you overlooking the possibility that there might be new people who would be much higher quality and much more rewarding to hang out with? And the weird caveat of that, well, what Heather and I have seen is that our friend group is really eclectic. It cuts across all kinds of lines, right? That has been very much to the good. It is a much more interesting, dynamic friend group. And yeah, it contains people who have, radically other ways of viewing the world, but that's all to the good as far as we're concerned. So who are you overlooking is the question. Who that does have ears to hear are you failing to see? And what would happen if you try to team up with them?
Well, I don't disagree with any of that, but I don't think it, I doubt that it is perfectly responsive to the person asking the question, because it will be obvious to most people watching us that many of the costs that we endure for being public with with what we do. But one of the benefits is hidden in the answer that you just gave, which is that people find us. And if you're not public, if your job, whether or not you intended it to be or not, isn't to publicly declare where it is that you stand on issues, then how is it that people would find you? Like, how is it the person asking the question will find these people who I know exist, but whom you are alluding to? But in this way, this is one of the ways that it's easier for us than for most people.
Yeah, although now that I get the question better, I do think that there is an answer in that, right? You and I also find that with people, and most people don't know who we are, so we have a lot of those conversations too. And if you are bold about confessing your doubts and your concerns, and you just, you take the risk of letting people know that you're not on board with the conventional narrative and that actually you've come to understand some different things, I believe you will be absolutely shocked by the percentage of your fellow citizens who are also possessing of doubts, afraid to talk, and feeling a bit lonely. And, go with it. Talk to people, let them know, you know what, I don't think this advice makes any sense, and here's why, and see what you get back. I'd be shocked if you didn't find a lot of kindred spirits.